Welcome to the Den, and I am here as always to speak of this week's gaming news. Black Ops 6 Zombies is officially revealed, and we have some hands-on impressions and things to look forward to for zombies. As we have, when you're playing solo, you can save and quit mid-match in zombies, and return to your match if you disconnect. And you can also join a friend's game in progress, as well as customize your loadout mid-match, as well as keep playing after completing the main quest, Easter egg, as well as a new wonder weapon called the Beam Smasher. Also, more news on that, Gobblegums returns, something I hate to death, as well as highly customizable HUD HUDs, including option for a Black Ops 3 style HUD. We also have evolving zombies as well as classic prestiges coming in, with new Perca-Colas, field upgrades, and shadow damage types, and more details are to come. But we have a official look here at something called a mutant injection, which allows you to become a mangler for a limited time in Black Ops 6 Zombies, and it looks pretty crazy. It puts you into third person. It looks pretty dope. But my honest opinion is I'm looking forward to this Zombies. It's a little insane, but I'm an old Call of Duty player, not much into the new zombie stuff, but I'm gonna give this one a go. But on to the next news of Black Ops 6. You can now melee while diving in Black Ops 6, and this all comes from the new omnidirectional movement in Black Ops 6, and it's gonna be pretty crazy. You got these Max Payne dives where you could dive anywhere you want, and it's gonna cause for trouble in a good way. It's gonna cause for some sick highlights, sick clips. You're gonna see some crazy things, some annoying ass things, and it's gonna be pretty interesting to see how people will play and adapt to that. More news on the way this week is Dead Rising remake, remaster, whatever you want to call it. I think it's more of a probably a remaster. But Dead Rising will no longer reward players for taking these erotic, risque in-game photos of women. And to be honest, that kind of sucks. That's not very good. I don't like changing of what the original source is of a game. I like to keep everything how it used to be and maybe improve on some things that are flaws of the game. But I already don't like. I'm pretty much of a doomer when it comes to remakes. I don't like remakes, I don't like remasters. I like my old game, playing it the way it is, back in the day, because I want new creative ideas. I don't want the reuse of every franchise for the next 30 years. Just being reused and refunneled. It's not my thing. But this is kind of lame from Dead Rising, and I hope that's the only negative change they make with this new remake, remaster, whatever you like to call it. More news. Ready at Dawn has officially closed. The studio Ready at Dawn has officially been closed, but in 2020 the studio was acquired by Meta to aid the development in Oculus VR games. But over time, the studio suffered massive layoffs as Meta looked to cut its costs, and now in the present day the studio is officially closed, which is the reason we never saw games like The Order 1886 sequel, which was going to have much more improved gameplay experience. They were planning to put everything into the gameplay experience of the sequel, which would have apparently been a similar leap in experience as we seen between Assassin's Creed to Assassin's Creed 2. And that's kind of upsetting how we never got that sequel. We never got an improvement on what was possibly a big potential sequel. Warner Brothers is now looking to license its franchises to other game studios. Quoting now CEO David Zaslav, "We have 11 studios here, and we have a lot of IP, and there's also a lot of interest among others in coming to take advantage of some of that IP for gaming, which we're looking at." And after that failure, that monstrosity that is Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League, this is good news. And hopefully we get some good studios. Maybe we get the creator of DMC to make a cool Nightwing game. Maybe we get Ninja Theory to make something cool, make something interesting. Who knows? Ninja Theory is my best vote there. On to other news. Borderlands has come out, and the film debuted at 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. Even IGN hates it. And you know, talking about these movie adaptions, it's quite sad how people intend to ignore the source on their own merit. It's kind of egotistical, ignorant, disrespectful, whatever you want to call it. It's not right. And now even Yakuza has this problem, as the Yakuza TV series is coming out on Amazon Prime October 24th. But before that, we have some drama about Yakuza. As I was saying about movie adaptions, apparently Amazon's Like a Dragon Yakuza cast revealed that they've never played the games. Not only has both of them never played the Yakuza games, but as Takeuchi revealed, the team behind the new Amazon show actually asked them to avoid doing so, as he explained through that they had their reasons. As he says, "I know these games, everybody in the world knows these games, but I haven't played them. I'd like to try them, but they had to stop me because they wanted to. For the creator in the script, explore from scratch, that's why I decided not to play." Adding on to that, Kaku emphasized that whilst their show does continue the legacy of the games, they also wanted to put their own stamp on it. He concludes, "I definitely knew this property very well, but I didn't realize the franchise was this globally big. We decided we would make sure we would do our own version, relive the characters, take their spiritual elements, and embody them on their own. There was a clear line we wanted to draw, but everything on the bottom was respect." And once again, just like Borderlands, I hate that they ignore the source material. I hate that they go on to do their own thing. And you know, no one's telling you to do 100% source adaptation of the material, but show respect like Peter Jackson did to Lord of the Rings and add a little difference to it. And there's no problem with that, but completely ignoring the source is disrespectful to the fans, the creators, and this is not going to go well as planned. And with more news, Doom, the Dark Ages, we have some hand-on previews and stuff people have been talking about, and that is world is much more open than previous games, as well as 3 melee weapons. The flail collects ammunitions, the mace and fist creates chains of electricity, as well as the saw shield can be used to traverse the map. Saw shield can be thrown at enemies less vertically than Doom Eternal. Jumping is weightier and heavier now, comparable to power armor and Fallout 4. There's a glory kill system, and the glory kill system has been reinvented, as well as new weapons revealed: double barrel plasma shotgun and a single barrel shotgun. And you can nail enemies to the wall with the nail gun. Also, the giant mech can be used several times throughout the campaign. The mech fights with its fist and a double cannon. The mech can perform glory kills and has a specialized HUD. And I can't wait for this. Doom 2016 is my favorite. Doom Eternal's amazing as well. They've been all hits, no misses. And they've been on fire lately, and they've kind of revived shooting games for me as far as single player goes. It's really fun. It's really fun to speedrun. It's really fun to play on any difficulty. It's got a great learning curve too. I can't wait, and it's going to be a great one. And Black Myth Wukong is the #1 global top seller on Steam 11 days before release. It's also regularly stayed in the top 5 on Chinese Steam for the past 2 months. And as I said before, I don't really like Souls-esque games. I grew out of them after like the 5th Dark Souls game. The combat's very boring in these Souls game. It's very slow. It's not fun to use the controller. You know, I'm very heavy into hack and slash, but everything I've seen from Black Myth Wukong has been pretty cool. I like the Monkey King lore, and it's going to be an interesting one. And Black Myth Wukong releases August 20th. And on to some serious news here. Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2. We got details from hands-on media previews. And as they quote and say, "Taken aback by the sheer scale and atmosphere and attention to detail, feels like 40k Nirvana. As well as a lot of effort has gone into world building. Could very well be the most authentic Warhammer 40k game we've seen to date. And blend of shooting and melee feels very fluid and satisfying. Brutal. and satisfyingly brutal, I should say, as well as parries, dodges, counters, gun strikes, and parries can instantly kill smaller enemies or interrupt larger enemies' combos. And some like the parries and finishers, others felt they broke up the flow of combat and slowed it down too much. Some little negatives, not bad, to each their own, as well as a multitude of execution style attacks like tearing limbs off and ripping apart the power armor of the Thousand Suns. You gain health through consumable stems found in the game. Executions are vital as they fill a portion of your armor. And more strategy, take out groups of smaller enemies first that are surrounding you, or focus on the larger, tougher enemies to sever their synaptic link to the smaller ones. Range enemies can slow you down or poison you, while other enemy types buff others. And they have a jump pack, which fires from the hip up, dive down on enemies with a devastating strike. And to the boss fights, example of one with the Thousand Suns Sorcerer, completely different gameplay experience that was a visual spectacle. Cast spells and traverses across the battlefield. As they say, horrific eyes emerge from the walls and ceiling of the room. Ground turned to liquid, etc. Lots of magic in this fight. And they go on to the graphics, and as they say, are a feast for the eyes. Tons of details in characters, armor, weapons, environments, and animations. Bolt rounds, explosives, skies filled with tons of enemies, chaotic soundscape is spot on. And with a mode called Operations Mode, it is a PvE co-op missions mode. Takes place alongside the main story, play as your own customizable space marine in a squad of 3. And one PvE mission sees your squad spring a trap on a hive tyrant, which disables a swarm that Titus was fighting in a separate campaign mission. Makes you feel like you're a part of a bigger picture in the story. PvE missions will take about 30 minutes on normal difficulty. Variety comes from the AI director that changes up enemies depending on your class and playstyle, bringing surprises and surprise ambushes and more. And we go on to the classes, as there is a tactical marine, assault, vanguard, bulwark, sniper, and a heavy. Each comes with different weapons, perks, abilities that have unique uses on the battlefield. And Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2 releases September 9th, 2024. And that is all the news in this den. Now get out.